Zoids and fury in the sky. Zoids leads the iron pride. Roar of thunder, sound of tar. Roar stand steady, battle floor. Blue guardians fight for peace, red muses stir the beast. Warriors of steel decide the fate. On Zoidstar no time to wait. Planet echoes with their wrath. Warriors treading metal path. Shadows dance in neon flash. Laser beams ignite the night. Iron claws in desperate fight. Moonlight breaks the crimson light. Lord defends with courage steel. SUBTITLES leaves no chance to kneel. Fury of the heartbeat bleed. Zoidstar leads the iron pride. Roar of thunder, sound of charge. Wait the artillery to push them back. Bombard the Cenobites, stop their attack. Mobilize our helic forces to fight. Cannon Tortoise shows the Republic might. Weak-fitted cool charge particle beam gun sends the Cenobites Zoids on the run. Cannon Tortoise brings the destruction rain. Cenobites empire fear, we bring the pain. Liquid cool charge particle beam gun sends the Cenobites Zoids on the run.